Seema, and I am back with a new lesson on confusing word pairs. Well, there are some words in English, where you feel like the meaning of those words are kind of the same, and you try to use them in the same sentence. But guess what? These words are quite confusing because their meanings are quite different, though they may sound quite similar while saying it. Okay, so what are they? Now, the first word pair is the words deny and the word refuse. Well, both these words kind of sound like, they may have the same meaning, right? You're wrong. They don't have the same meaning because deny, what does it mean? Deny basically means to say that something isn't true, or deny can also be used to say that you didn't do something, that you did not do something, okay? Or you can say you did not do something. So let's put that in an example or a sentence, okay? So I can say that Susan denied speaking bad about her friend or gossiping about her friend. So what I'm saying is that Susan said that she did not do it. She did not gossip about her friend. So Susan denied gossiping about her friend. Or you can say that Mr. Jones denied the false claims of murder. So he is saying that the claims of murder against him is not true. That's what deny means. It means that you say that a particular thing said about you is not true, or that you have not done something. Now, refuse. Well, the meaning of refuse is completely different from the word deny. How? Well, refuse basically means to say firmly that you will not do something. So in other words, it is basically a firm no when I say no. So I can say that the little boy refused to eat his dinner. He firmly said that he will not do it. He will not eat it. I can say that Mr. Joshi was fired because he refused to obey his boss. He refused to do what he was asked to do. Okay, so you can see that both these words are quite confusing, but with very, very different meanings. Yeah. Okay, the next one is staff and employees. Okay, both these words again sounding very similar, but again quite different meanings. Okay, staff refers to an uncountable thing, or shall I say an uncountable noun, and it is always in the singular. It basically refers to a group of workers working in an organization. So it's a group of workers, but that group is in a singular because we are taking it as one whole group. So there may be a group of 100 workers, but that's one group. It is singular and uncountable. On the other hand, an employee or an employees are also people who work in an organization, but we are referring to the plural and a countable noun. And when I talk about employees, I'm talking about individual employees, which you can count because, as I mentioned, they are countable, right? So I can say that there are 100 employees working in the organization. It's plural. You can count the individual number of workers, right? But I have to say that the staff strength is 100. I don't say that there are 100 staffs. I can say that there are 100 employees, but I cannot say that there are 100 staffs. I have to say that there is a staff of 100 employees or 100 people, right? The next one is interfere versus the confusing pair, which is intervene. Oh my God, both of them sound so similar and kind of feel like they're similar in meaning, but no. Interfere basically is a negative word to say that something is coming in between, or a negative thing to denote that something is in between and you don't want it to come in between. Okay, intervene also means that something is coming in between, but this has a more positive vibe to it. Okay, let's see how. Okay, which means you can't use both these words in a sentence together. They're two different words altogether. Okay, so I can say that my mother-in-law always interferes in my household affairs. Now, there's a negative, vibe to this sentence because my mother-in-law is coming in between when I don't want her to come in between, right? So that's a negative thing, okay? But intervene, okay? I can say that Joe's mother intervened when he had a drug addiction problem. So Joe was going through a drug addiction problem, which he couldn't, take care of because he was addicted to drugs. But his mother came in between. Now, was that a positive thing to do? Yes, his mother came in between and helped him through it, right? So interfere and intervene are different because even though both things mean that you are coming in the middle of something, you are coming in between something, interfere is negative and intervene is a very positive thing, yeah? And the next one is problem and trouble. This is very simple. Problem is something that is countable. You can count problems, okay? So problem would be 2 problems, 3 problems, 10 problems, or 100 problems, okay? Trouble is uncountable. So both words basically means that they are a type of worry. You're worried about something, you've got a problem, you're worried. You have some trouble, you're worried. But the only difference in using it in a sentence is that when I'm referring to something that is countable, I can say, I've got 3 problems with this handset or with my phone. My phone freezes, problem number 1. My phone won't charge properly, problem number 2. My phone turns off, without any warning. 3 problems, okay? But if I want to talk about something that is uncountable, I can say, I've got trouble with my handset. I've got 3 problems with my handset and I've got trouble with my handset, because problem is countable. You can count them. But a trouble is non-countable. It is uncountable, so to speak, right? The next one is suppose as opposed to supposed to. Well, a lot of people make a very, very common error in using both these words. When I just use the word suppose, the meaning can either be to expect or think or believe, or shall I say to imagine. Wow, this word has got 4 different meanings, okay? So I can say, I suppose Mary will not answer the phone this late at night, which means I am saying, I expect that she will not answer her phone. I think that she will not answer her phone. I believe that she will not answer her phone. Or I imagine that she will not answer her phone. But when I say supposed to, what does that mean? Supposed to basically means when I'm trying to say that something should be done. So I can tell my friend, you are supposed to study at least 2 months before your examinations if you want to, get an A. So he's supposed to do it. So something, which is studying in this case, should be done. I can say you are supposed to drive slowly if you want to avoid getting into an accident. Supposed to, meaning something should be done. It is something that you just have to do, right? So that's the difference between suppose and supposed to. Now, the next and the last pair, I won't confuse you anymore, is change and to switch. Okay, again, quite similar sounding, but no, you can't use them together in one sentence, okay? So change basically means to become different, okay? Become different. So I can say that the weather is changing, okay? So now we had summer, now the weather is changing, the leaves are falling, it's gonna get cold, so it's gonna be winter now, or maybe autumn. So when something becomes different, we say change, right? As opposed to that, switch. Switch basically means that you stop doing, or shall I say using something, and then you start doing or using something else, right? So you were doing something or you were using something, you've stopped doing that or using that all of a sudden, and then you've quickly started doing or using something else. So I can say something like, I switched from using an Android phone to an iPhone, which means I may have been using an Android phone for 6 months and then I didn't like it, so I switched over to an iPhone, okay? So that's it from me on this lesson on confusing word pairs. Well, I hope you are not confused anymore. I'll be back with some more lessons. Until then, you take good care. Thank you.